here. J.R. Shepherd dives down to the inside, trying to see if he's able to get a little bit of that tack that Brandon Proudfoot has been getting up at the front of the field. 10 laps to go here at Port Royal.
Yeah, definitely not making a huge ground here on Brian. Brian's able to maintain that gap.
It's Big Justin Morton back into second with J.R. Shepherd somehow taking over the lead. I have no idea.
These guys, you see Scott kind of using up all that momentum. Got to enter the corner wide. I expected with kind of cut back low. See lap car down on the inside. George overshoots the corner. Scott puts that car just where he needs to on the middle. It's going to be a drag race through the kick. Thomas George gets loose. Scott Eckridge has the opportunity to come home with a win right now. Side-by-side drag race.
Oh, wow.
Scott Eckridge, 5/1000ths of a second.
Streaming cyberspace into your place, sponsored by Gargamel's Kitchen. From South Boston Speedway, it's the Virtual Grip Network's penultimate round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Series, Season 21. Happy Johnny Appleseed Day, everyone, as VGN joins you in celebrating the kindly legend who lived by sage teachings and labored to bring the shade of fruit trees across much of the United States. In this series, the man whose qualifying labors have thrown shade on his competitors is J.R. Shepherd. Through 9 events, Shepherd has been absolutely perfect in qualifying. Coming off a second win of the season, it's clear why he's considered to be the top seed. A driver who has been earning much applause of late is Michael Goodman. His consistent performance has been the core to his success. So pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for some American as apple pie simulated short track action as we say hello and welcome from Old Dominion on this Saturday night, March 11th, 2023. John Hine joins yours truly, Bill Soupson, high up in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our Word's Eye View. Replay, Ryan Seneker turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. Well, it's 100 laps, the distance for the main event, preceded by the 4-lap qualifying session that inverts the top 10 and awards those precious bonus points. John, happy Johnny Appleseed Day to you, and the iRacing platform has borne some new fruit in the form of a new car. What have you heard? What do you know?
Well, all this tribute to Johnny Appleseed, I want everybody to ponder just one thing. He's the guy that used to wear the tin cap around, and so was he the original first pothead? That's just a question there that I have.
Oh, mercy.
But yeah, got some laps in this car. This is a really fun car. It's it's very forgiving, and I'll tell you, you can overdrive these cars real easy because you can drive them in deep. Tap the brakes, the cars turn. You're going to see a lot of guys, different agendas, backing up the corner. Some guys are going to attack the corner here, but I will tell you, we've said this many times here on this on these broadcasts. Tires are still going to be a big factor here tonight. Watch for guys to really abuse that right front by overdriving it.
John, correct me if I'm wrong, but the take I'm getting is that it feels really, really good right away. But then it can get away from you, and like you just said, the tires are a big factor in this thing.
Yeah, and what will start happening is that the nose just won't cut through the corner, and you start kind of washing up, and the harder you have to turn the wheel to get it to turn in that situation, the worse your tires are going to get because you're going to continue abusing them.
Got it. You know, the great Groucho Marx once quipped, if you take cranberries and stew them like applesauce, they'll taste much more like prunes than rhubarb does. And if that culinary logic makes sense to you, then you'll enjoy our sponsor, Gargamel's Kitchen. a high-quality food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Visit their office at 2045 South Valenti Street or call Gargamel's Kitchen at 720-707-6178. Quickly, let's go to the points. No debuts at Hickory, so the total number of drivers that have raced at least once this season remains at 33. Our top 4 drivers all hold station. J.R. Shepard looks to make it 10 in a row in qualifying. Michael Goodman is coming off his best result, and that's a 3rd. A 5th last time out was enough to keep Lowell Jewell a point ahead of 4th, where Matthew Thunhurst, despite his attack from the back strategy, has failed to podium only once in his 8 tries. Donnie Moore climbs 2 spots. Despite Moore leapfrogging him, Ribeye Joe Snyder stays in 6th. Joe Segala was the last of a dozen cars to finish on the lead lap at Hickory. Matt Hoos finished just ahead of Segala. Kurt Smith is coming off the 4th top 10 of the season, and Justin Morden's 3rd no-show drops Salty down to 10th. We're going to flip the page, and we're going to look at the driver in 12th position. That's Jeffrey Harden. He's got a fan watching him tonight. I believe that's Brandy. Hey, Brandy, how you doing? Well, he was 19th last time out. He could have used you then, Brandy, proving John the undercall was not the right call for John as he missed on that one. And that's going to bring us to the driver in 15th position. Our soup of the day, spotlighted over-under drivers for South Boston, is Kevin Nunn. Okay, John, here's his results. They're interesting. New Smyrna, 16th out of 26, best of 10 drivers. No-show at Myrtle Beach. USA, 13th out of 23, best of 10 drivers. Martinsville, 12th out of 22, best of 10 drivers. Then things go south. North Wilkesboro, 10th out of 13th. Nashville, 19th out of 21st. Stafford, 21st out of 22nd. Yikes. South National, 11th out of 24th. A little comeback there. And he wasn't here at Hickory. All right, the Stat Boys, the over-under for 23 drivers, has it at, if I look at the numbers, 15.5. Bet the under if you think he'll do 15th or better. 16th or over for 16th or worse for the over. What do you say, John?
How many we got here?
We got 23 tonight. 15.5 is your number.
I'm gonna take the over. I think if I don't know where he's qualified, he's gonna be at minimum mid-pack. He's gonna be in the danger zone from the get-go. So
got it.
Got to be difficult to avoid some stuff. I think where he's at. So yeah, I'll go with the under.
All right. Let's hope you missed last time. Let's see if we can go out with 2 in a row to end this season. Qualifying going on right now. Hey, we haven't seen Mike Holloway in a long time. Sitting at the top of the list right now. Matt Hoos right behind him. And Ribeye Joe Snyder, 3rd best. Of course, we haven't seen from J.R. Shepard yet. Has not put in the time. He usually waits to the end.
Yeah, the times are a little bit slower than what they were in practice so far. So.
We're looking at Belkey. Looks like he has his usual Jeff Gordon paint scheme on there.
Actually, that looks like a maroon. That actually, the color on it actually reminds me of the old T-Rex car of Gordon. He did a couple of times run a maroon car like that, but a little bit different though.
A little different. There we see J.R. Shepard's out there. Friends and family of Matt Hoos. Well, he's sitting 3rd in qualifying right now, but don't get too excited. He's got an end-of-line penalty that he has to serve. He was a little too, got a little slap on the hand for some over-aggressive driving last time out of Hickory. What that means is all the drivers behind him are going to slide up a spot. So we're going to call them as they line up, and then you can do the math, realizing that Matt Hoos is going to get dropped way to the back. J.R. Shepard trying to be perfect so far. He hasn't missed yet.
And just
did he put in his time?
Not yet. Yeah, and real quick, Michael Goodman fans out there, he had a little bit of engine trouble, i.e. He lost his packets and got disconnected from the server, but he has popped back in. Don't know if he'll get a lap in or not for his 4 laps.
Going around, look at all the drivers that were able to put in a qualifying time. That's unusual. Usually there's a good, I'd say half a dozen to 7, 8, or 9 drivers that actually don't get into time. Michael Goodman, Michael Smith, and Mike Allen. Carol, if your name starts with Michael, you don't get to qualify because all of those guys are still out.
That is
so
weird.
Apologies to Mike Holloway, who has put in a time. I guess he didn't get the memo. Qualifying is done, and boom, right at the very end. How does he time it like that? How does he actually get the time in right before qualifying ends? J.R. Shepard sneaks it in. 10 for 10, John. Man, that guy is good.
Sure is. That's an impressive stat.
You know, qualifying was his Achilles heel last season, even though he did win the championship in the Super Late Model Series that we covered here on Saturday nights. But he was not nearly as dominant in qualifying. Man, he caught on quick. He realized what side of the bread was buttered for him. Let's see if we can bring in a driver. John, who are we going to talk to tonight?
Well, why don't we go with Jeff Harden, since he's got a fan club out there.
Bring him in. What do you got, John?
Hey, Jeff, this is John. You got a copy?
You know, he's probably talking to Brandy.
Hey, what's going on?
There we go.
Hey, Jeff. Well, my friend, new car. What's going to be your strategy here tonight?
With the new car, a short time, early, just kind of conserve and avoid all the accidents. Hopefully still be around.
Well, 100-lap race here. What kind of laps have you had in this car beforehand here?
I ran about a 50-lap practice on my own earlier. Tires wear pretty good, but it doesn't seem to affect the car too much.
Well, 10-4. Soup, you got any questions for him?
Yeah, who's Brandy, Jeff?
That'd be my wife of 27 years.
Okay, well, after 27 years, I think if you finish last, I think you're probably safe. So let's see what you can do for her, man.
All right, thank you, Sue.
Wife of 27 years. That's well done. Yeah, whatever finishes he gets, he's still in good shape. It's those newlyweds you got to watch out for when you have a bad result that, you know, you're sleeping on the couch.
I don't know. I've been married 18 years, and, I tread on thin ice more days than I don't, so I don't know about that.
Matt, who's qualified fourth fastest? That, if I can do the math, that's going to put him on the outside of row 4. So he will drop back a few positions. And that'll move, so that'll actually move. You know what? That is good news for J.R. Shepard, because I think J.R. then will move up a spot and start outside of row 4 instead of outside of row 5. So, little send Matt Hoos the check in the mail. Round number 10. This one and one more to go to wrap up this season. It's been a fun one. Brand new car tonight. This is unknown. I think we're going to see a lot of comers and a lot of goers.
Yeah, and the best thing about this car in the practice that I took, you can use the bumper to move somebody without wrecking them, which is not a normal thing for iRacing.
Quick span through the lineup. No new names here today. Okay, qualifying is over. We're going to get a chance to run down the order for you. We'll take the very top row. On pole position, he qualified 10th, moves up to the front. It's Brian Dean. We'll see what he can do. He's going to be flanked by Ruben Altice, a couple of veterans on the front.
Yeah, and the second row is going to have the 17 of Chris Wilson, and the next to him will be Brandy's husband. We'll go with that for tonight. That's Jeff Harden in the 44.
Young gun, Aiden Young. He's going to start from inside of row 3. He's going to be flanked by Ribeye Joe Snyder.
And starting 7th, but will be falling back, will be Matt Hoos. To his outside will be the 14 of Kenny Kibbe.
Okay, so maybe I was wrong about this, because I guess Mike Holloway will scoot up a spot. J.R. Shepard's going to start in the 10th position.
Starting 11th, who will be moving up a spot, is Steven Spees. Next to him will be Todd Liston.
Donnie Moore and Austin Belkey well down the order.
Followed by Kevin Nunn and Stephen Hilbert.
The selected Sinotski for today is Matt, with Bruce Pearson flanking him in 18th.
Joe Segala is going to start 19th, and rounding out the top 20, and a surprise is going to be the boss man, Lowell Jewell.
And then it's our 3 Mikes down here at the bottom. In 21st, Michael Goodman, Michael Smith in 22nd, and Mike Allen in the final spot. All right. All the business is out of the way. Perfect timing for us as the pace car pulls in. The attention goes on Brian Dean. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, hi-da-ho! Brian Dean gets a great jump and have
Oh, Wolfson goes around. Oh, yeah, big. Track is blocked. Holy
big
cow.
problem going on behind.
I don't see a lot of damage in there. I don't think anybody took any big hits. Saw more damage, I think, take place when they were trying to kind of pull away from that.
Boy, maybe Aiden got into the back of him, and then you see everybody cranking their wheel to the left, trying to avoid the incident. There's the 26, Donnie Moore getting in late. They keep it coming.
Oh, yeah, Aiden just drilled him. I said you could put the bumper to somebody, but not that hard. Looked like Chris lifted a little bit early, though, in the corner there, but nonetheless, the result's the same there.
We ride on board with multi-time champion J.R. Shepard. Watch this, folks. You decide. Go high, go low, stay in the middle. J.R. sawing on the wheel. He sees the trouble. He goes to the top and puts his foot on the gas and sneaks through. That's how you win a championship.
Now, judging by how they're lined up behind the pace car, now I don't know if those guys are showing a lap down here or what, but well, there's one pit, and you got Steven Spees that's now behind the pace car, and from the flag stand to turn one, somehow he went 11th to first.
Yeah, not sure that's going to hold though.
I don't think that's going to hold.
I think Brian Dean. They're going to get Brian Dean in the number 23. He's going to be considered the leader, with Ruben Altiz is going to line up outside of him. Both of those guys gridded 1-2. The next two drivers iRacing says is the drivers who qualify or gridded up 3 and 4. That would be Snyder and Kibbe. Well, Kibbe, corrections, Kibbe has made up some time, no?
Yeah, I think what happened. See, I think what happened here is these guys that are behind the pace car came to a stop, and now they're all there they go. They're all going to get waved around, and then that's how Brian will resume being behind the pace car there.
There they go. Harden gets the wave around, as does the 73 of Michael Smith and the 55 of Steven Spees. So when everything is said and done, we have Brian Dean going to be put right behind the pace car.
Yeah, that pace car's sitting there in turn one under green there, and all they had to do is launch out, and all those guys that were stopped had to go to the back there. And they're still trying to get it sorted out. They're delaying the green one more lap here.
The RD, they got Ruben Altiz, then they're trying to sort out the second row. They're doing some shuffling. Joseph Snyder looks like he has to slow down a little bit to make room for some people. Now he pulls in. Looks like Snyder is indeed going to get that inside of row 2. He is up 3 positions. Kibbe to his outside is up 4 positions. The drivers behind, again, these are guys who've benefited from the attrition. Todd Liston and Donnie Moore, each up 6 positions. And you want the big mover? After Steven Spees, who gets waved around into 8th, how about Michael Smith? 22nd to what I'm looking at, 9th. Pace car is in. Okay, now we go green. This one's a little cleaner. Nope. Did I speak too soon? Nope, we're still racing. Still racing. Side-by-side racing up front. And actually, I'm having a little trouble here. I'm doing this off the monitor. We still have our leader, John. It's still Brian Dean with Snyder and Altiz right behind them, side by side.
That's right. Joseph Snyder is to the inside there. Gets a little squirrely coming off of 2, but he looks like he's going to complete that pass on Altiz. And J.R. Shepard looks like he's going to follow through.
Little bumping and banging going on behind as the drivers are now working their way through. We're looking at Donnie Moore there inside of the 70.
Which between Donnie and Aiden, I think those are the best new paint schemes on these new cars, man. Donnie's car is sharp, and so is Aiden's, I think.
Of course, the guys were under the gun to get those paint schemes done. We continue to race side by side. Moore on the inside, Ruben Altice on the outside. That gets sorted out. Now Altice is going to get freight trained.
Yeah, it looks like the bottom is definitely the place to be here.
I mean, here they come. 1, 2, and now there's the 87 of Todd Liston getting it. Oh!
Welcome contact.
Todd gathers it up. He might have got into Altice, then he cranked it left to keep it going straight, though. Nicely done. Spies and Harden behind them.
Got to give a shout out too to also to Chris Wolfson there. He's the guy that we saw get turned there in lap 1. He's already back up to the into the top 10 here.
Single file now mostly through the field as we look at Chris Wolfson having a good run. Indeed, Wolfson racing in 10th position right now.
Yeah, the single file racing, I think, largely is to do with the unknowns we talked about here. You know, guys are just trying to click laps off. We heard Harden there in our pre-race interview talk about just trying to log laps to get a feel for the car and everything else. But guys probably don't know how hard to push these cars yet under race conditions. Practicing by yourself is a completely different thing. Even hopping in a server and running practice laps is different than racing. You put those cars in a lot different positions when you're racing.
We ride on board with Kenny Kibbe in 5th position, looking ahead at Donnie Moore. Moore again up those 9 spots. Some of that he's done on the track. A lot of that you watch people alongside the walls left and right of him. Working lap number 22. All this going on behind Brian Dean. Dean with a comfortable quarter-second lead on 2nd place.
Yeah, I think the second half of this race is going to be real interesting. I'm going to be watching to see, who starts falling back and maybe who starts creeping forward. We got a battle now, Donnie Moore.
Moore continuing to race.
Kibbe's to the inside there, and looks like Altice looks to try to follow through with him.
We saw that Moore was fighting with Altice a little while. They have swapped position now with Moore on the outside. Moore comes down and closes the door on Ruben.
It's a good thing, or he probably would have lost a couple more.
That car with the light blue hood. That's Steven Spies. Drop a little farther back, I believe. Is that Harden we're looking at there now? In his familiar number 44. Randy, he's down 5 spots. Hasn't been going his way so far. Plenty of racing to go, though. Still only a quarter of a way through the race. 1 yellow happened early. We've been green ever since.
That's all right. She can blame us for bringing him up here. That like a little bit of a commentator's curse.
There's Donnie Moore. Continues to be under pressure. Ruben Altice trying to find a way around. Moore making that car as wide as a Julia Roberts smile right now, but he is losing ground to the driver in front of him, which is Kenny Kibbe. There's Kibbe.
Yeah, Kibbe is stretched out away from Donnie since he's passed him here, so I'll be pretty interested to see if Kenny can run down those top 3 and see what kind of pace he has. Altice now is looking to the inside of Donnie Moore.
If we look up front, the top 3 have find each other. Now we go back. There goes Altice. He gets underneath him. Let's see if he can bring Spies with him. 26 trying to close the door one more time. I don't know if it's going to happen this time. Boy, Spies can't get underneath him. And now a little bit of a hello from Spies on Morse. Oh, that's Liston behind him. I apologize. Liston's
overdrove the last 2 corners and gotten himself in trouble, and that's opened the door for Spies, and Spies just walks right through it here.
There you go. I was doing a little crystal ball commentating. I knew that Spees was going to be in the mix here pretty soon. Liston on the outside, Spees on the inside. Shepard now has got around Ribeye Joe Snyder. He took him only, 33 laps to get there. Next on the hit list, Brian Dean. Dean's a veteran. But
and Todd Liston went around there.
Liston goes around, but we stayed green. Could be one of those nights where the iRacing stewards have show tickets, and they want to make sure they get there on time.
Yeah, that wasn't, he got a little contact from Aiden, but Aiden on that one there wasn't his fault. Contact, I think, a little bit between Spees and Liston, where Liston had to check up, and Aiden just had nowhere to go there.
The car just in front there is Matt Shanowski. He's up 3 positions, racing in 14th. And then there's our spotlighted driver. We were on Kevin Nunn for a minute. Boy, he's right on the number, 15, half a point better.
I didn't see Segala's paint scheme, but I hear from our guy turning the wheels and spinning the knobs and doing all that fancy stuff back there, Ryan Seneca. Oh yeah, good call, Ryan.
Like that one indeed. They're only going to get better, folks. They only had 4 days to get these things painted up, and tip of the hat to all of the drivers who put in the effort to get that done. How about a tip of the hat to our leader? Let's check back in on him. Brian Dean. He's led for 37 laps. How long can you do it? Uh-oh. Is that the 59 there, getting out of the way? Mike Allen making room.
You know, Soup, I'm going to be honest. I'm starting to see a lot of these cars start losing the back end on corner exit. Kind of wondering if the tire wear isn't already setting in here, which would be a little bit earlier than the late model they were in last week.
We ride on board with the Shepard cam as he looks ahead of Brian Dean. Tip of the hat to Dean. He's been leading so long. Look at Shepard working. He's trying to get underneath him, just feeling him out.
Yeah, and these cars are so easy to drive off the right rear. And that's probably a little bit of that loose condition that I'm seeing here. Some guys, look at JR's loose going through the corner there.
What you had there, a little bit of patience and a little bit of respect shown to the multi-time champion as Dean kind of knew his goose was cooked. Now they race side by side, but it won't be wrong. The question is Joe Snyder going to be able to follow them through? And it looks like he's going to get that second position back that he lost to Shepard. So all of a sudden, Ribeye Joe back in second position if he can finish the job. And then in the popcorn position, making good time, up 4 spots. Started in 8th, racing in 4th is Kenny Kibbe, watching back there with butter on his racing gloves in the popcorn position.
Yeah, and Kenny's doing a genius line. Watch this down in turn 1. He'll go in high unless he's going to try to get under. But he was going in high and diming in the corner and driving off low and just getting massive runs through the corner.
Ooh. Getting very loose was Brian Dean. I don't know if he got the wall, but the car got really squiggly.
I think he did. That, like I said, that might be just driving it off the right rear too hard, too early.
Kibbe gets that position done. That's 5 up. Now I imagine things to settle down a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at Chris Wolfson. He's racing in 10th position. Just ahead of Michael Smith and Lowell Jewell. 4th car in line that you see there is Michael Goodman. Goodman did not get a qualifying time, one of the 3 Mikes that did not. He's up 8 spots. Michael Smith, 2 up from Goodman, up 11 spots. Oh, I don't know. Wolfson having a hard time keeping that white car down. Wolfson's in the white color car. You can see it having trouble, John, getting that low lane and then getting some drive off of here.
From what I've seen, you want to be careful doing that because, like I said, that leaning on that left tire, I think is going to play. We're not even halfway. We're just almost to halfway here. And I expect these guys to have a handful of steering wheel by the end of this thing.
Wolfson, boy, again, the car goes up now. We look at this battle for second. Kibby getting underneath ribeye Joe Snyder. Gets that done. Now Kibby can turn his attention to the windscreen and see if he can run down J.R. Shepard. That's a tall order. Look on the tower there. Just a tick over a second between them. Let's check in on that in maybe, let's say, 10 laps and see if Kibby has been able to do anything with that. Speed's on the inside getting that pass made. Again, Donnie Moore stuck on the outside. And coming in behind Speed, the 44 of Jeffrey Harden.
Matt Hoos looks like he wants to continue the train here and not let Donnie down. Let's see if he can keep his nose in there and keep Donnie pinned to the outside.
Matt Hoos had to serve that end-of-line penalty. And again, he actually gets that pass as he moves up into 8th. Now more fight backs. They continue to race side by side. You got to figure that, Hoos drifted up a little bit. He gets that done. And then is that Wolfson back there? No, that's not the... Oh, that's... There's Wolfson back. That is Liston, I guess, in that car ahead. Lap down for Liston. Thank you, Director.
Yeah, that would also explain why he lifted there and let Donnie back in line. No, he could have forced that issue.
Liston running in 18th position, a lap down after suffering some early issues.
Well, I'll tell you this too, Soup. Our leader has caught a lot of traffic. So Kenny, who's running second, I got a feeling is going to close up here pretty quick on JR.
Well, if you look at the gap, it hasn't changed. We talked about it. It was 1.1. It actually gained a little bit there. You think that the lap traffic might slow down Shepard a little bit. They do a good job of getting out of the way. That was Bruce Pearson in the 22 doing a good job. And then behind Pearson, I believe, not sure who might have shown Austin Belkey, but I don't believe that was Belkey who was back there. Maybe it was. Shepard clears all the lap traffic now. And the gap up to 1.1 seconds. Not Kibby not going anywhere.
No, Shepard caught him right at the right places, and they were able to get out. Kenny caught him. JR caught him going into the corner, and Kenny caught him on the front stretch and the back stretch. And when you do that, it alters your line to enter the corner, and that can cost you some time. JR is able to just to maintain his line and get through the corners.
Here's the best battle that's been going on all night. Chris Wolfson and then the guys behind him. Lowell Jewell, Michael Goodman. There's Lowell Jewell. Oh! Lowell gave a little bit of a... maybe he suggested a higher racing line there to Wolfson. And here they come. Goodman. There goes Shanosky.
Yep. See, I told you could put a little bumper to somebody and not wipe them out.
Oh my goodness, Wolfson trying his best to get down. He just can't get it done.
Michael Young's Smith going by,
and it won't be long. I think Kevin Nunn might be in there as well. Kevin Nunn racing in 16th position right now. One behind. No, he's a little farther back. I apologize. He was not in that train. He's a tick under the 15 and a half. So, John, you're on the money right now. Racing in 16th.
Well, and I said it. His challenge is going to be not getting caught in a big one. And, well, that's what happened on lap 1.
Nicely done as we are. Lowell Jewell been getting top 10s all season, and he's racing there right now. Up 10 spots, started well back outside of row 10.
I think now is the time we should mention it on air out loud to Lowell that maybe we should run these cars on Friday night too with the 200 lappers coming up, just so Ryan and I can race.
Indeed, side by side, that looks like Altice there. We continue to race side by side, and I think Ruben's going to get that pass made. Brian Dean drops another position. He led 41 laps, and now he's fallen down to 5th.
Yeah, I'd say he used those tires up early. Talking about Lowell, though, real quick, though, he sometimes listens to this broadcast driving down the road. I just said that. I hope he doesn't drive off the road when he hears that. Ryan and I want to drive these things.
Of course, Lowell Dracula, renowned truck driver. Yes. Roll, 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 brother trucker. That's what I say. Speed's now making a move. Getting to the inside of Dean, gets that pass made. Trying to tuck in there. Brandy, here he comes. We're talking about Jeffrey Harden. There's the blue 44. Tucks it in there. Harden trying to get up into 6th position, and he gets it done.
Dean just popped off the wall again, so I think he's going to continue to fall back here.
Well, next to get him.
Oh, and there he hit it again.
Will be Donnie Moore. Yeah, we've seen this when the tires goes. You can see the drivers having a hard time bringing it down. The Joseph Snyder syndrome. There's Matt Shanowski. Goodman in front of him. They go around the lapped car.
And the hard thing is, too, when you get into the wall, the thing from a driver's standpoint, it rattles you. Even if it's a little bit, you're like, oh, I pushed it too much. And then you've got to spend probably a lap or two trying to recalculate to hit your marks. Well, if you're in a hornet's nest, that's not easy to do because there's not that room for you to get back in your rhythm.
Shanowski, Goodman, Lowell Jewell, and Donnie Moore leading the train. Now remember, that train was stuck behind Wolfson for a long time. So once they made work of Wolfson, now they're on the hunt. And Donnie Moore, the hounds are after the hare, and it won't be long till the chef's cooking up the Hoffenpfeffer. There goes one. There goes
cooking
two.
Up a what?
The Hoffenpfeffer. Rabbit stew, baby.
Learn something new every day.
That's why we like. We're here to entertain and inform.
Well, see, I wanted to know what it was just solely so I can go ask my wife if she'll fix that tomorrow night. So.
Harden working on the back of Spees. Harden's had an interesting race. He started in 4th, fell way back. And I think maybe Brandy might have got out the frying pan and said, let's go, hubby. Standing behind him.
Yeah, and Soup, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there is a lot more loose rubber off the racing surface than what I've seen in the past. I don't know if it's because these tires are being eaten up or if this was just something added to their update on Tuesday, but man, you can see the marbles.
Which will make getting up there to the high line even harder to get somebody stuck up there.
Yeah.
This is a nice battle going on right here as we're looking at Spees and Harden. Not much going on up front. You can see on the tower that 1.1 second gap. Well, Shepard's now opened that up to almost 3. Right on board with the 44 of Harden. He's going to get this done. He's got to get it done in a hurry. We're closing in. Laps are going to click away pretty fast now.
Yeah, and we should give a shout out to these drivers. Brand new car, lots of unknowns, and man, they have been clean tonight. So kudos to everybody that's in this race here tonight.
John, South Boston has a reputation for being a little bit messy, but not tonight.
Yeah, they've done really well, and then now Spees has caught Snyder and Altice here, so we've got a nice little battle here for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, I suppose.
Look there. Now, Shepard is in. This is interesting. He's got some lap traffic, but this is not your typical lap traffic. Not only that, he's racing guys that are battling for a legitimate position here. Shepard now stuck in a hole. That's Goodman in front of him, and Goodman has been trying to work on Lowell Jewell for the last 30 laps, and I know the rules say get out of the way, but Goodman really sawing on the wheel there, and now he's going to have to give it up.
Yeah, and Spees got around Snyder while we were looking at that, and Harden followed him through. Lots of action here starting to pick up the second half of that race.
There is Harden continuing on the back of Spees there. Got a car length between him, and now he gets really close. Oh, talk about somebody on him really tight. That was Shepard trying to see if he can get around the boss man, and he does. 1, 2, 3, let's get them all. Holy moly, it's a triple for J.R. Shepard.
Man, oh man, oh man, that's the proverbial hornet's nest.
The only problem Shepard will have is lap traffic. He's made quick work of it.
Yeah, he's got a clean track here with 7 laps to go here. I don't know that he'll see traffic again, so he's got clear track now.
Now Harden's got to look. Now Harden's going to try to force his nose in there. Speed's trying to give him room. Harden trying to get a bite, trying to get a drive off 4. Can't get it done. Man, he's working hard now. He's going to try the type line. Going to try to diamond it down in there. Look for the run momentum off of 2. He's about a half car length back. Can't get it done, but good racing going on between these guys, and it's been going on for a while.
Yeah, Stevens just running on the same line, lap after lap, hitting his marks, and here's Harden now. He's got a nose.
Got a nose in. They go around Wolfson. Now he's on the inside. Ella Speaks has anything for him. They touch. They separate. Speed's fighting back, looking for momentum on the top side. 3 laps to go. We want to get this done without a yellow flag, boys. Speeds will not give up the ghost, and look at the drive out of 4.
Oh, lap car just wrecked.
We got a yellow,
man.
And it involved Jeffrey Harden.
And Speed.
Get the car rolling and keep going. No, he has to take a tow.
Oh, man, the 59 came just down off the corner. It's hard to tell if he got loose. Remember, I've been talking about those marbles. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, the 59 just took out second, third, fourth, and fifth there. And I tell you, 23 of Brian Dean saying thank you.
Did I jinx it into reality? There we go. You see the contact. And that started with the 59. That was Mike Allen, who was having a nice run. Now, I don't think Mike took a tow. I think Mike kept the engine running, and they're going to score him right now in... Well, no, I have a correction. My timing is scoring wrong. I thought he was a little higher than he was.
And unfortunately for Brandy, I guess Jeff's going to get home a little early after this race. He's loaded up and taking it back in, so horrible break for Jeff Harden after a magnificent run, actually.
Jeff, you telling me you couldn't keep that car running under yellow and limp it around? Come on, man. All right. Been told he didn't have a front end. That seems like a trivial problem. All right. We are working now. The checkered flag lap coming under. 3rd win of the season goes to J.R. Shepard as he stretches out his lead, and he gets a perfect score. Fastest qualifier, and once again a win, doing that 2 races in a row. Kenny Kibbe had a nice run, but really had nothing for Shepard at the end. And end-of-line penalty, schmeld-of-line penalty for Matt Hoos as he gets that 3rd place. Congratulations to Matt. Ties his season best. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back to run down the finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome to you to the Chuckles. I'm in danger. 250 can possibly go to the outside. He does go to the outside of Ricky Harden. Tries a slide draft him. Harden goes up the track. Now back down to the bottom. Gets a huge push from Tommy Ryan at the start finish. It's going to be Thomas George.
Running the high line, trying to make that
got
pass.
loose off turn 4.
And the grass goes to the 6 car, and they were side by side, 2 by 2 here.
Still Scott Eckler winning the last race of the season and the championship.
Jeff Ford definitely getting the championship for season 2.
Give it up for Thomas George, winning the race and the championship. George overshoots the corner. Scott puts that car just where he needs to on the middle. It's going to be a drag race through the kick.
Welcome back to South Boston Speedway and VGN's Round 10 coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's late model series. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. Well, he was the fastest qualifier. He started in 10th position, worked his way all the way up through the field, got there on lap 41 and held it the rest of the way. I'm talking about J.R. Shepard. That should pretty much clinch the championship for him. He can get hit by lightning, perish the thought, and still get the championship. That would be awful. I take that back. Don't want to jinx that to happen. Kenny Kibbe had a nice run. He'll settle for second. Matt Hoos end of line penalty didn't mean anything to him. He still gets a podium. Joseph Snyder had a nice run. Started in 6th. Was able to hang around up front most of the way. He gets a 4th position. Lowell Jewell up 15 spots for a top 5. Congratulations to the boss man. Michael Goodman and Matt Shanowski both with good runs. 21st to 6th for Goodman. 17th to 7th for Shanowski. Donnie Moore, well, he lost 5 spots to come home in 8th. Joe Segala had a very quiet top 10, coming home in 9th, up 10 spots from where he started and without any issues. Ruben Altice, our pole sitter, started on the outside of row 1. He gets the 10th position. John?
Coming home in 11th after starting on the pole will be Brian Dean, and he'll be followed by Steven Spees, and then Aiden Young. Mike Holloway and Bruce Pearson will round out the top 15, and then they were going to be followed by Mike Allen, Todd Liston, Jeffrey Harden, finishing 18th. 19th will be Austin Belkey, and 20th will be Chris Wilson.
Very good. Then the final 3 drivers down there, Michael Smith, Kevin Nunn. Now there's our spotlighted driver. He did the over on this one, so congratulations to John. He picks up a win on that one as he comes home in the double duck spot. And then our final driver, Steve Hilbert, did not hear much from him as he was 77 laps behind the leader. Called it an early night for the Chief. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can bring in our race winner, J.R. Shepard. That'll be 2 in a row for J.R. First in the new car. J.R., congratulations. Let's talk the new car. Apparently you did not like it that much.
Yeah, definitely a new car, completely different than the old limited late model, and I hadn't turned a whole lot of laps in it coming into tonight, but I heard people talking about how bad it wears the right front tire out, and yeah, just the game plan from the beginning was just to try to run a decent pace and not abuse that right front, and I was hoping that the guys that were out front were kind of abusing their tires, and eventually was able to get by them because of that. But this is definitely the most that I've ever seen South Boston rubber up during a race. It was really crazy, and ultimately kind of made it a single line track.
Let's drill down a little bit. Help me explain to me what rubber up means. Are you talking, because John was mentioning that it looked like the marbles were up on the top side, but you're saying the inside line actually got more traction?
Both. So yeah, the inside line got a lot of rubber laid down on it. ultimately kind of changed the way the car was handling. It was already a little bit tight, but it kind of made it tighter getting into the corner. So you had to change your driving to maximize that. But yeah, the inside of the track and the outside of the track had tons of marbles, just where everybody was wearing the tires out, and that's just pieces, chunks of the rubber coming off the tire and shooting up the track or down the track, depending on where they're running at the time. And you do not want to get your right sides in that. It will definitely make you lose a lot of traction.
Well, that's good to know. All right, we're going to get you out of here on the fans' favorite segment, that is Get to Know JR. This comes from Mary in West Covina. She wants to know, this is a hard one tonight, JR. She wants to know your Desert Island album, the one album you take with you. I'm assuming, I guess there's some type of way to play the thing when you get to the Desert Island, but what's it going to be?
Ah, man, that's a tough one.
I knew that would be tough.
Yeah, I don't know what to go with. I have a lot of different songs. Definitely, I'm not a huge hard rock fan or anything, but Metallica's definitely got several songs that I would probably want to listen to if I was by myself.
All right. Okay. If you're by yourself, yeah, you won't bother the neighbors on the deserted island. All right. All right, JR, congratulations, and we'll see you down the road.
Yep, thank you guys, and give a shout out to Bootleg Racing League for putting this on. It's a cool race with the new car. We'll have to see how that continues to progress. Thank you guys, what you guys do at the Virtual Grip Network, making us look good in the booth, and my team, Different Path Motorsports, and congrats to Kenny and Matt coming home on the podium now.
Well done. Congratulations. J.R. Shepard, our winner tonight. John, I knew Mary sent him a hard one. I could tell when I read what she sent in that was going to be a hard one for him to answer. So Metallica was a bit of a surprise. Who you got?
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, but I got Kenny Kibbe, who came home second tonight. And Kenny, talking to JR, it sounded like the track took rubber. What say you?
Yeah, it definitely did. And this new car really burns up the right front. So I just decided with these new cars, I always, whenever there's a new car I'm in or something, I just decide I'm going to just drive it as hard as I can, which is not usually my style. And I'll just see what I can get away with, see what the car will take. And it's a good test of tire wear and things like that. And I ended up at 12% on the right front at the end. So if I run again, or when I run again, you won't see that from me again. But it was interesting kind of just running there for science. And I was taking a lot of rubber. I was hoping that the top side was going to maybe come in, but it didn't. It was kind of a bottom feeder track. And we never really got any restarts there to see if the top would even be good on restarts. But hey, I'm not complaining because I always like long green flag runs like that.
Yeah, the nice long green flag run for a brand new car. As the race went on and you said it wore the right front out, about how far into the race could you tell that right front was starting to give up a little bit on you?
Well, I know about halfway mark was when I started to lose a little bit of time, because I know for a little while there when I got into second, JR and I were kind of trading laps times, and then about 50 to 60 laps in, I would drop like a tenth or maybe 2/10, and he'd kind of stay the same. And then it just kind of progressively got a little bit worse from then on, and caught a few lap cars in a few bad spots. And then about the last 10 laps or so, it really got bad. So I knew she was wearing out quite a bit. And that's the difference with this car is the last car was push loose. So you could, the car would get loose if you really threw it around. This car is just all tight, which I like because it's a more predictable balance, but you really have to take care of the right front.
Well, great run here tonight, finishing second, like you said, not bad for a little bit of a test and tune kind of deal, but we look forward to, are you going to come back and run with us next week?
We'll see. I mean, it's kind of just depends on what the schedule brings, but I had a lot of fun. I think, this car is still hard to pass in, but it's at least more enjoyable to drive, I will say that. So I'm looking forward to running, and it's a new car to try to get some wins in, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Kenny, well, we'll see you hopefully soon. Have a good weekend, man.
Yeah, you guys too.
That's Kenny Kibbe, our second place finisher.
And I'm going to get to talk to Matt Hoos, who came home on the lowest podium position. Matt, Nice qualifying run. Now, you did serve your end-of-line penalty, right?
Oh, yeah, I had to go to the rear, started 23rd or 24th, I believe it was. So I knew I had my work cut out for me.
Did you miss the big one there on the opening lap?
Yes, sir. That actually helped me starting in the back because I was just going to ride around for a little bit, but they got in that wreck, and I just kind of drove through there and gained 10 spots from that, and then the rest of it was just trying to keep tires under the car.
You know, we've talked to J.R. Shepard, we talked to Kenny Kibbe, and you know what they said? Man, it's hard to keep tires under the car. So you confirmed that one. That seems like feels good early, then it goes away, huh?
Yeah, I knew from the beginning it was because during the practice I was running, that's what I was testing. And, I kind of hooked up with Steven and Jeff there, and we were all going to the front. And I feel bad for them guys getting caught up in it, but I guess it was the right place, the right time to wind up third today.
Well, Matt, I've always considered you, even though the catchphrase for you is "who's is loose," that's really not the way you drive. You're a pretty smooth driver. You got to figure this car maybe plays to your style of racing. What do you think?
I hope so. I do like it. I think today was a good test, like everybody said. So I think I'll come back next week and learn a little bit from this week, and maybe be even stronger. And I don't have a penalty to serve next week, so I'll be able to start up front.
Yeah, imagine if you get a podium when you have to start last. Imagine what you can do if you start from a normal spot. Congratulations, Matt. Night finish.
Hey, thanks, and shout out to everybody in this league. The league wouldn't be what it would be if it weren't for everybody here. We all have a lot of fun. That's what we're all here for. And thanks for Lowell and the broadcast team for all the work that you guys do. And just thanks for having us.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Matt. Congratulations. Podium finish for Matt Hoos today. That's going to do it for us here. But remember, this broadcast is made possible thanks to the good folks at Gargamel's Kitchen. They're a food-grade nachos ice provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Visit their office at 2045 South Lynch Street or give them a call at 720-707-6178. Now, if you like what you saw tonight, then join us again Saturday, March 18th for the final round. Now, when I was being trained how to be a commentator, they said to me, Soup, the audience can read, so I want you to read right up there because I don't have it in front of me. Well, I'll read it for you. We're going to Five Flag Speedway. That's going to be on Season 21, Round 11. You can see that. But before then, look right there. Where are we going to? It's the Pretty Good Racing League from Phoenix Racing. Oh, I like Phoenix. They got that hill you can sit up, and maybe we'll get a camera shot up there from the Rattlesnake Hill, I believe it's called. That's going to be Tuesday, March 14th, 8:50 p.m. Eastern. Now, those upcoming broadcasts I just talked about, as well as this one, are a product of the Virtual Grip Network. So you want to thank everybody that makes this possible on VGN. So until next time, have fun storming the castle.